What if everything you've ever been taught about money was wrong? What if the key to wealth wasn't found in a high-paying job or a fancy degree, but in a mindset one you never learned in school? Welcome to the world of Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert T. Kiyosaki, a book that didn't just sell millions of copies, but flipped the script on how people around the globe view money, work, and success. Let's dig deep not just into the lessons, but into the life behind the book, the wisdom it holds, the criticisms it faces, and the bridges it builds with other iconic personal development and finance books. About the author. Who is Robert Kiyosaki? Robert Kiyosaki, born and raised in Hawaii, is an entrepreneur, educator, and investor. Before becoming an author, he served as a Marine pilot during the Vietnam War, later venturing into business and financial education. His life took a turning point when he realized that traditional schooling failed to teach people how to become truly wealthy. That insight became the seed of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Kiyosaki's mission since then has been simple: to teach people what the rich teach their kids about money lessons the middle class and poor often never hear. 5 core ideas that redefine wealth. Let us break down 5 central ideas from the book. Canned we dress them up in metaphors so they stick like glue. 1. The rat race versus financial freedom. Imagine running on a treadmill, sweating, panting, but never moving forward. That's the rat race. Working paycheck to paycheck, locked in a loop of earning and spending. Kiyosaki argues that financial freedom begins when you step off that treadmill and start building assets that generate income whether you're reworking or not. Assets and liabilities. The cash flow compass. Think of your financial life as a garden. Assets are the plants that grow and produce fruit like rental properties, stocks, or businesses. Liabilities are the weeds that suck the nutrients. Car loans, credit card debt, even your primary residence if it's draining cash. Wealthy people cultivate plants. Everyone else waters weeds. 3. Work to learn, not to earn. Ever hear of someone who jumps jobs for better pay, but remains stuck financially? Kiyosaki flips the narrative. Treat your job as a classroom, not a paycheck. Each skill is a clue, and only when combined do they lead to your personal X that marks the financial jackpot. 4. The power of financial education. Schools teach you how to read and write, but not how to read a financial statement. Think of it as a GPS for your money. Without it, you're driving blindfolded in a city you don't know. 5. The mindset divide. Rich Dad versus Poor Dad thinking at its heart. The book is a tale of 2 voices. Poor Dad says, "I can't afford it." The other looks for the key. It's not about bank accounts, it's about beliefs. But not so fast. Let's talk criticisms. Every influential book invites critique, and Rich Dad, Poor Dad is no exception. 1. Vague and anecdotal. Many critics point out that the book relies heavily on parables and personal stories, little hard data or actionable specifics. Rich Dad himself, he's never been clearly identified. 2. Oversimplified financial advice. The book suggests investing in assets like real estate and businesses, but doesn't delve into the complexities, risks, or the time required to learn them. 3. Unrealistic for some readers. Kiyosaki promotes the idea of entrepreneurship and investing as superior to employment. But not everyone has the financial cushion to take those risks, especially those living paycheck to paycheck. 4. Glosses over privilege and safety nets. The narrative ignores how privilege, networks, and safety nets can influence someone's ability to take big financial risks. Not everyone can afford to fail forward. Still, there's power in the ideas if you use them wisely. So how do you apply them? 3 actionable takeaways. 1. Start tracking your finances today before you can build wealth. You must know where your money goes. Use tools like budgeting apps or spreadsheets. Know your assets, liabilities, income, and expenses. 2. Build skills that pay dividends. Learn sales, marketing, public speaking, investing. These aren't just nice to have. They're wealth accelerators. Every new skill is a tool in your belt. The broader your skill set, the more doors you can open. 3. Turn income into investments. Don't just earn to spend, earn to invest. Even if you start small, redirect part of your paycheck toward acquiring income-generating assets, stocks, real estate, or your own small side hustle. Let your money work harder than you do, bridging the worlds. How Rich Dad Poor Dad connects with other great books? Here's where it gets fascinating. Kiyosaki's work doesn't stand alone. It echoes and amplifies ideas found in many iconic books. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Both books highlight the power of thought, believing you can be wealthy before you actually are. They both tell us. Wealth begins in the mind before it appears in the bank. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker argues that your money blueprint, your internal beliefs, dictates your financial outcomes. Kiyosaki echoes this when he contrasts the belief systems of Rich Dad and Poor Dad. Both books say, if you want to change your results, change your script. Atomic Habits by James Clear. Habits shape destiny. James Clear teaches how small, daily actions lead to massive change. Kiyosaki's message? Daily financial choices, buying coffee or buying stocks, compound over time. Both authors whisper the same truth. Your future is built on your routines. The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Housel emphasizes that financial success isn't about knowledge, it's about behavior. That's Kiyosaki's playground too. Emotions like fear, greed, and impatience are what derail people financially. Wisdom isn't just knowing what to do, it's doing it consistently under pressure. Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin and Joe Dominguez. Kiyosaki's idea of escaping the rat race aligns perfectly. Both challenge you to ask, is this expense truly worth my time on earth? The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. Collins champions low-cost index investing and financial independence. While his approach is more passive and Kiyosaki's more entrepreneurial, they share a core goal: freedom, not luxury, not status, but time, choice, and control. Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Kahneman explains how we often make irrational decisions. Kiyosaki's Poor Dad character acts with fear and scarcity, classic examples of System 1 thinking. Rich Dad, however, is deliberate and strategic system to inaction. Awareness of how we think is half the battle. The Happiness Trap by Russ Harris. Kiyosaki doesn't talk much about happiness, but he does advocate living life on your own terms. Harris's idea of values-driven living matches that perfectly. When you control your finances, you design your life, and that's where real satisfaction begins. Final thoughts. Rich Dad Poor Dad isn't a perfect book, but it's a provocative one. It teaches through contrast, challenges your assumptions, plants a seed. What if you could become wealthy not by working harder, but by thinking smarter? But now the spotlight turns to you. Here's a question to chew on. Are your current financial decisions leading you toward freedom? Or are they keeping you trapped in someone else's definition of success? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And if you're hungry for more, stay tuned. We've only just scratched the surface of what wealth really means.